I got to backtrack a little bit, because when
Mm,
I went into genetics and studying
mm,
genetics, I thought, Eureka, I've done it. I can help anyone heal. And that wasn't true at all. It wasn't. And why it wasn't true is because, everyone will keep recreating something
mm.
in a moment, right?
Yeah.
So what's a really common one these days? I'm going to go into weight loss, because,
Mhm.
weight loss looks different on everybody. You've probably worked with people with weight loss before, or getting them to a certain point of performance. And it's like everyone's journey around it looks a little bit different, and why they got there in the first place is going to be different. And then I thought, okay, if I pop their genetics on top of it, we'll get them really fast weight loss, or really easy kind of weight loss for them, and off they go. And, when I coupled people together in their gene pools, it actually worked. It did work. But the issue was, some people, I wouldn't see them for 6 months, and then they come back and the weight's on again. And I thought, okay, great, we've turned off those genes and so on, but it's the habits that they were creating and that they didn't exchange out that was creating
Mm,
the weight again. So I actually hadn't quite done it in helping somebody get totally over those patterns when they were going through, let's say, weight loss. Um, I needed to go a little bit deeper and say, well, why? And someone would say it's psychology, and I'd say, well, no, it's actually how we're interacting with ourselves on a daily basis, and it goes into everything we do. It's not just psychology, it's not just genetics, it's not just nutrition, it's all of it. And so I was like, well, how do you explain that? And then when I met Angela, she said, well, it's information, she calls it. So she calls it information stacked into a quantum wave, and you interact with everything that you deal with. And so your patterns behind what you're interacting with is what's going to create your outcome. So let's put Anne in front of a Toblerone bar. I love Toblerone bars, by the way. They're amazing. Is Anne going to be able to say no to the Toblerone bar around Christmas time? Heck no. I love those things. But so, I'll have one. But let's say, I eat the whole bar in one shot. Okay, why did I choose to do that? And why couldn't I stop myself? What's the pattern? And people will be like, oh, Anne, you're sabotaging yourself. Yeah, I am. But, why did I choose to go down that path for myself and create, inflammatory responses and a sugar rush and so on, and potentially turn on a diabetic gene if I have one, and so on and so forth. So why did I choose to do that? And that's where the patterning, the quantum wave patterning comes in, because I need to go and look at my pattern of why I chose it in that moment. And let's just call it a self-sabotage pattern. And then, what we can do is muscle test where else in my life I learned to self-sabotage myself. So let's take me back to, maybe 4 or 5 years old. When, for example, and this happens a lot in a lot of families, when somebody's upset or sad, they get a candy to feel better, or
mm.
they get sugar or something to feel better, right? Oh, here you go. I hope this makes you feel better. I'm just going to give you sweets. So maybe I'm standing in front of the Toblerone bar at age 39 and saying, I don't really feel good right now. I'm going to eat this whole thing to feel good, because it gives me that feeling of fulfillment. But I haven't gone back and looked at my 5-year-old self, as when I was sad, my way of dealing with the sadness was eating the Toblerone bar, right? So
Mm.
we can see how people get into something chronic, can't we?
Thanks for watching this video, and you can find the full-length podcast episode here on this channel, or you can head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify, and don't forget to like this video.